will he just he goes for it. He immediately goes for it. So it was a pre-decided approach. And Peter, I think we'd alluded to it at the start, the idea of the d-pawn moving forward. And the other concept that we've seen recurring is knights behind pawns. In this position, when you want to develop this knight, you move the d-pawn forward, the knight jumps on the d3 square, and it will feel a lot more safe, gaining a big stronghold in the center. d4 feels like one of the most natural moves in this position.
Yes, absolutely. And the reason why I also feel quite happy with d4, that let's just, for example, assume black plays d5. We might develop the knight to d3. Let's just try to do the symmetry with knight d6. Then white could eventually follow it up with f3. If black follows and suit with f6, this extra tempo, for example, knight g3, knight g6, and then white going to break first in the center with e4. This is something to think about, yeah, because the very first question is what happens if black keeps on repeating, yeah, and mirroring, and here you see that, okay, mirroring does not really exist any longer because there is certain tension in the center right away.
And we're learning so much about Fischer random freestyle chess in these games. One of the concepts that again come to my mind with this is that playing copycat chess, mirroring your opponent's move, while it makes a lot of sense because your pieces find their right place, but very often it backfires because white's the one that strikes first in the center. White's the one that gets the first break in. And when it's no longer possible to mirror your opponent, you can end up in trouble. And we see d4 on the board. Nicholas, is this a move that was on your radar as well? And I see you've got some more updates coming in for us.
Well, I was just checking how the different players started their games, and we actually see 3 times d4. The players that analyzed together, Vincent, Nordebek, Fabiano, they all opted with the white pieces for 1d4. The only player who didn't analyze with them and also is playing white, Alireza, he opted for e4, and he's been playing e4 in a lot of different games here already, no matter what the starting position is. But d4 and e4 definitely make a lot of sense. You open up the queen. You also, if you play d4, let's go to the Nordebek game, you have the square on d3 for the knight, as Peter pointed out, and you have this pawn already protected by the queen. Both moves make a lot of sense. I think it's a bit a matter of style, as it is in standard chess, whether you go d4 or e4, but of course here we have a completely different situation. We can see Magnus taking his time on the first.
fast forward to Freestyle Chess G.O.A.T challenge. In the round robin, Magnus shaky. He doesn't manage to win many positions. He himself said that he wasn't finding his rhythm, making a lot of misses. Then he goes on and he plays against Ali Reza, loses the first game. Ali Reza needs only a draw to bounce back, but then Magnus Carlsen comes back in beast form on the second day, takes the win in the tie breaks, takes the win in the 15 plus 10, and his match against Nordebek, counting yesterday's game and this one, he's back. Magnus is back on top form, and that just makes him a very scary Magnus for everyone else.
Yes, he grooved into freestyle chess completely. He got the rhythm. White plays rook b5. After rook c6, we have also seen Nordebek's face. Told it all. Said it all that yes, I'm not gonna have chances here. You know exactly how Magnus followed it up with rook b6, rook cb1. Will be played. There is nothing else to be played, and now Black can even play the move rook ab8. Can't he? Yeah, he can play rook ab8. Basically, it almost
all the rooks.
Yes, it almost forces resignation in the sense that after rook ab8, rook takes b5 is such a threat, and how do Magnus even takes? Okay.
And yeah, even if you take with the a pawn, the black king would be perfectly placed in front of that pawn, and the a pawn starts moving forward. So for Nordebek, it was key to start to take with the rook. Doesn't really happen. I liked your move rook b8 because it would not give white the time to take on a5. While now Magnus is reaching out for the king, he steps up, king to c6.
Yeah, but the point was that after rook ab8 there was rook c5 check, and anyway white can, okay, black doesn't mind it, but white to give up a pawn. Let's just quickly show this because this is quite instructive. That after rook ab8 seemingly everything is pinned along the b5, nothing can move because then the rook behind will be hanging, but there was this rook c5 check, and then king moves, then you take on b6, you take the pawn on a5. Anyway, it's scary for white because black is the one who is invading with the rook to b2, or you can even give a check and then pin the bishop. It's also not a good scenario, but Magnus thought like, okay, why to do this? I'm just enjoying, I'm pawn up, I'm sitting here, and by the way, my opponent needs to win this game.
And now, well, there are many different ways to continue, maybe.
And we do have a result. Nordebek has resigned in his game against Magnus. He immediately gets up and leaves. Magnus Carlsen goes through to the finals. He's showing why he's the GOAT.
Wow. Okay, did he resign or did they agree to? I think they agreed to a draw, I believe.
Yes.
I think they agreed to a draw because okay, draw is like a win for Magnus. There is just absolutely no
need to fight.
Yeah, no need. He's pawn up.
And this was our final position, Peter. As you're pointing out, that in fact a draw was offered by Nordebek, I believe, after the move bishop to f5, and eventually Magnus has got no reason to play on. He's the one who's pushing in this position, agreed a draw, goes through to the finals.